Hello everyone, this is Getaway Jamie. This is gonna be yet again another video about Greece and Greek people. In this video I'm going to discuss the Greek mentality through expressions that are passed from generation to generation. But first I would like to thank you for supporting this channel and by liking and sharing the videos, and of course by subscribing, it's very helpful to me. I would also like to hear ideas from you about new videos, so you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and the links are down below. I would like to say that these expressions describe Greek mentality, and they are concerning marriage or connections or the perspective of other people about you, and a general misery that they may take out, let's say. The first section is concerning expressions that are about marriage and the social perspective about it. So the first one is θα μείνεις στο ράφι. This literally is translated to you will stay on the shelf. It describes a situation when somebody is not getting married, so they are, let's say, are left behind and they stay on a shelf. This comes mainly from a tradition in Greece that people were getting married really young, like let's say 14, 15 years old. And nowadays it has kind of stayed that someone who's not getting married until, let's say, 30, 35, especially for women, some might say this expression that she's gonna stay on the shelf, like her father has her on display and she or he is going to stay there and not taken. Να φτιάξω τη ζωή μου. It means to make my life. Somebody might think that this might concern, I don't know, getting a good job or getting money, getting a house. But no, in Greece, when we say to make our lives, it literally means to get married and settle down. Like your life is trash and it's not good if you're not married, but when you get married, everything suddenly gets better and it's the best thing you can do in your life. Of course, nowadays, it kinda has changed, but previous generations, like my mothers or my grandmothers, they thought that marriage was the ultimate thing in life. The third one is Παπούτσι από τον τόπο σου και ας είναι και μπαλωμένο, which translates to get a shoe from your place even if it's patched up. This expression kind of describes how somebody should compromise with something or somebody that they know rather than looking for something better. Maybe it hides some xenophobia that Greeks had at least a few decades ago, if not until today. The fourth one is Μετρημένος άνθρωπος. So it means a counted person. When you say somebody is counted, it's, to my eyes at least, it's something that it's very negative. It means something that he has all his cards open. There's nothing new to him or her. There will be no surprises at all. You're going to know exactly their moves, and yeah, let's say it's gonna be very boring. Something that I always tried to avoid is being a counted person. I really want to not stay the same and try to reinvent myself as much as I can. And this kind of makes me sad for other people, but it's their own life, so they can do whatever they want. Now, moving on out of the marriage parts, we're going to go to other more social expressions. The fifth one, and I think it represents the whole Greek society, is τι θα πει η γειτονιά, which means what will the neighborhood say. This shows that Greeks are really dependent on what other people will think about them, and they are willing to sacrifice their personal lives so that they get a public acceptance from the whole society, or let's say from the neighborhood. This is something I really hate, and I think that everybody should really care about their own business, and which is something that we don't do in Greece. We really care about everybody else's business, and we don't see our flaws, we only see other people's flaws. So before we move on, I would like to ask you, do you have similar expressions in your country? Please leave a comment below and we can discuss this. The sixth one is να βολευτώ. This means to get comfortable. Okay, everybody wants to get comfortable, but what we mean in Greece is that we get comfortable job-wise. We have a very steady salary, month in, month out, and it mostly concerns the public sector. So you get a position in the public sector and all your problems are solved job-wise. A few decades ago, getting into the public sector was every Greek's dream. They just wanted to get in the public sector and thought that everybody was going to be magically solved and they would not hunt anything down, any, let's say, dreams or ambitions, and it was just that. Unfortunately, this stays until today, even though the public sector does not pay that well now, because a few years ago, before the crisis, being in the public sector was paying very well. And I hope that Greeks are changing as years go by. The next one is called Είναι, βύσμα, which means he's a plug. It sounds funny, but it actually means that he has some connections, and not general connections, but a specific connection that is going to have the job done. Again, this connects with the previous one, where people would try to find a good connection to get them to the public sector, or open a position that was not there just for them, or find a loophole about something. A fun fact about this one is that in, let's say, 30 years ago, people would find some connection like that, and because they didn't have so much money to bribe them, they would go with feta cheese cans and olive oil, and they would give them to them. And there's also another expression that he got the job by getting him a can of feta cheese or olive oil. Now, this stands until today, but not with feta cheese or olive oil. But if you have a very good connection, especially a politician, then you will probably succeed something that normal people would not be able to succeed. But I guess this happens in all countries, though we don't see it as Greeks, but I think it does happen. The next one is Ξέρεις, ποιος είμαι εγώ? Do you? Which means, do you know who I am? Greeks sometimes tend to have a very high opinion about themselves, and they falsely feel entitled. And this derives sometimes from when they know somebody who is in power, but maybe they don't know him that well, but they will try to use whatever they can to succeed what that is, and they would sometimes use this phrase to threaten somebody that's not going their ways. The one before last is δεν βαριέσαι, which means, aren't you bored? This describes a situation when something bad happens, but you are either not willing to or capable to do something. So you say like, δεν βαριέσαι, we can't do anything about it. This expression has another word that I really like in Greek. It's called ο αδελφισμός, which is the actual sound of ο αδερφέ μου, which is oh brother, which it's the same in English as well. I think if we didn't have this mentality with oh brother, I think that Greeks would be able to succeed much more things in their lives and as a society. And lastly, and I think it's a funny one, it's called με έχουν ματιάσει, which translates word to word to I have been eyed. This describes, if you have it in your culture, the evil eye that other people get on you when they are jealous of you or they are talking about you. And Greece, as I said before, sometimes think very highly of themselves, and they think that people talk up behind their back about them and they get bad energy from it. And let's say that they have a headache and they think that it's the evil eye from other people's bad talk about them. I truly not believe in that kind of stuff. And the funny thing is that many Greeks that are very religious believe in this, because the church has actually said that the evil eye is real. So now they have made it part of their everyday lives. And there's also, let's say, a ritual or a prayer, a wish, a spell. They wouldn't call it spell, what I would call it a spell, that you say it to someone and the evil eye will go away, which is, it sounds kind of like a witch hunt. So I hope by this video you got a pretty good idea about Greeks and how Greeks thought in the previous years and how Greeks think now, because they kind of continue thinking the same way as they did a few decades ago. Are there any other expressions that you would like me to talk about? Please write in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video, share it, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok, which is down under in the description. And I'll see you on the next one.